The opinions made in this video do not necessarily coincide with that of Imaginary Goddess, or anyone else for that matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Guys, Ben Wheeler, the Mercenary King here with, talking about the case results and all that jazz. I'll be discussing the rares and double rares and triple rares in reverse order. Or rather, I don't know what order. Life's hard. Triple rares first. No, great rares first. What am I saying? Bam, bam. And we'll just go through it. See what happens. See what information we can pull out. Quite frankly, there's a lot of interesting stuff in this set, and I love all of it. I've got Russian waltzes playing in the background. There's staid magnificence keeping me afloat. It's wonderful. People don't know. People don't understand the love for music can get you. I should also figure out this stuff. Like, why? Why is it all messed up? Let us thought this through. Anyway, great rares, generation rares, whatever the hell their name is. Supremacy Black Dragon, Aura Geyser Doomed, or Damned if I prefer. He's pretty interesting. Counterblast 1, choose a face down Aura Geyser Dragon, normal, from your G-Zone, turn it face up. Choose 3 of your rear guards and retire them. You can do it like up to 2, at least 2, just so you know. Reveal 2 cards from the top of the deck. And for each grade 1 or less card revealed, kill an opponent's rear guard. Put the card revealed by this effect into your hand, and then if you have 3 or more aura guys in the G-Zone, you get a crit. So the real specialty in this thing is killing stuff. Interestingly enough, this works with the Blasted Arc Diablo, in that you kill something on stride, kill 2 more things potentially, and then you get all these different abilities. Of course, you can't pay the grade 0 to pay for it, like you can for, say, Phantom Blaster Dragon Diablo. But it's still pretty good, pretty impressive. I don't really feel this is a great rare. I feel that would be a great triple rare, but they needed something to fill it out, and honestly, I don't think they'd let a Mega Colony be it. Shadow Paladins is money. The other person here is Chrono Dragon, and next stage, Counterblast 1, choose a face down Chrono Dragon next stage, and turn it face up. Discard 3 cards from your hand. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked a Vanguard. If you have a hard card with Chrono Jet, you may pay the cost. If you do, put this unit into the G-Zone face up, choose one of your Vanguards, and stand it. Interestingly enough, this does require G-Break 2, which means you need to stride something else first. And that could be anything. If you're running Chrono Jet, you might as well run something like Upheaval Pegasus, or Lost Age, maybe? I don't know. Point is, you have a crap ton of stuff that you can use for Gear Chronicle and the like. Find something, find your style, use it, and then use this for a finisher. However, even though Chrono Jet does prevent you from using, like, is it Perfect Shields or Grade Zeros? I can't remember. You really need to be careful on how you set him up before you use him. I know that crit trigger that goes in the soul to empower Chrono Jet just went up in price, and that's probably to help hit more than 21k. I would recommend actually not boosting him when you attack, because either they'll have a perfect shield or nothing. And if you know that they don't have any guard, maybe you want to boost, but at the same time you want to save it for Chrono Jet, who gets a plus 5k boost and get it 23k, and they can't guard as efficiently as they like to. Yep, not much to say about Aura Geyser Doomed, honestly. Damned. And that's just because it is what it is. It's shaped like itself. It does its job. It's got combos. It's best with Claret Sword, honestly. Partly because the Claret Sword deck works in the way it does. Yeah, with this whole summoning and whatnot, and the grade 2s that summon the grade 1s, but I'll talk about that in my rare section. So we've got 8 different triple rares, I guess we'll start out with Royal Paladins and with Neo Nectar. We got Aerial Divine Knight Ultimile. Choose a face down Ultimile from the G zone, turn it face up. There's no G breaks, you can do it the first time he's tried. Once units placed on Vanguard, if you do until end of turn, all your units in the front row get plus 3k, and then if the numbers of face up in your G zone is 2 or more, you can summon a grade 2 and give that unit 5k. So, you know, if you have more in hand, like you say you start off stride with a Galblade, you know, that's not bad. That's not bad. This actually works really well with Ultimile, in that you can give plus 8 to your front row. Let's say that you have a pretty solid field to begin with. You don't really need his secondary ability that requires multiple G zones. You can just play him, and then you give the plus, you know, plus 8k. That'll turn, let's say, a, well, like the max I can think of is like a 29k, 28k. If you say run Toy Poogle with a 11k attacker of some kind. Or, you know, just with a normal, you know, thing, that's 24k solid. And I know there's a lot of things that gain power for Royals, so you can just keep going, especially with that stand trigger. You know, this is just, it's not the best thing out there, but it gives a lot more power. It'll hurt a lot more when it hits, but it isn't a game ender like the other, I've forgotten his name. But he gets plus 3k for all your units, and then you crit if you have 3 or more or something. Alright, so let's talk about the other stride, Mythical Destroyer Beast Vanguard. Soul Blast 6, unflip a Vanguard. With the attacks of Vanguard, pay the cost if you do. Beginning of your drive step, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Search for up to 4 cards from among them. Put them at the top of the deck in any order. Put the rest at the top of the deck in any order. Let's say that you get a bunch of... Let's say you get 2 crits, a non-crit, and a heal. A non-trigger and a heal. Let's say that you could do crit, heal, and then put the non-trigger at the bottom. Or you could do, like, you know, the thing at the top that you, if you want it, you know, you can just put it at the top. Oh, look at this. Okay. And then crit. You know, and then you heal, and then let's say you're at 5. Well, that's a miracle heal you're setting up automatically. Because it's 4, and you're not running draws in Genesis, because draws are bad in Genesis as a rule. You know, you have a real potential to put out a lot of threat. Especially most of the best Genesis trigger lineups, I see have 4 stands in them, or more. There's a really good common in there that's a stand that works with like everyone. So here we have Fenrir, Soul Blast 3 when this unit attacks a Vanguard, G break 2. Until end of turn, this unit gets a crit, and your opponent cannot call grade 1s or greater from hand to G zone. I know there's some Regalia cards. I'm not sure if they need Regalia to work, but they can give power. When you Soul Blast them, honestly, his secondary ability is a little lackluster to me. There are cards that do Soul Blast 3, but they also have plus 5k and a crit. So he really needs a plus 5k here. During the turn, but he shines with this one. During your turn, when this G unit strides, Soul Charge 3, choose one of your Vanguard and until end of turn, Counterblast 1. When your cards are put into the drop zone from the Soul, Counterblast, call it to rearguard. You can only do it once, but that's a plus 1. All of a sudden, Genesis is moving from like mid-tier to top tier with this guy. And it's not even worrying about Minerva. There's a common that does the same thing. So you can do Counterblast, and summon 2 cards. Those are 2 cards you're not spinning on your hand, spinning from your hand to your from your hand to your drop zone, and other things like this. Other things like that. You know, it's just preserving your hand. Fun fact, this guy's future this guy. Pretty interesting. He doesn't know it in the lore. Alright, let's talk about my personal favorite, Bugs. Stun Beetle. Counterblast 2 G-Break 2. He's actually the first G-Break 2 card in the set. Period. Counterblast 2, unflip 1 of Stun Beetle. When the attack hits a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, your opponent cannot stand, and your opponent cannot normal ride. Can he superior ride? Yes, but good luck with that. It's kind of hard. There's only a few cards that can do it really well. For example, Pelennor, or Sweep Command, or any other thing like that. And many things to stand them require you to attack them first. So, ha 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 ha. Basically, yeah. Here's an interesting thing. He's actually a really good bluffer. You put one in your deck, in like a machining deck. Even though you're running Machining Destroy all the time, let's say that you don't have 4 rear guards. You put one of him in there, they play it. They freak out, guarantees you a perfect shield, which is a perfect shield they can't use later. And if they even let it hit, that's when you say, ha ha, fooled you, and they lost a whole bunch of guard. Mega Colony is all about that mind game. Play the mind game, win it, beat them down. Intimidating Mutant Darkface. He's pretty good. Soul Blast. He's G-Break 2, Soul Blast 2. When your opponent is placed on rearguard circle, you can pay the cost and tab it. I've done that, and it is hilarious. Well, I'm going to play this big number here. I'm going to Ultimile all over it and give it AK. Haha. Well, Soul Blast 2, it can't stand. It's tapped. Haha. Oh. Yeah, he's pretty good. Pretty solid. Not much really to say about him other than he is good. His stride ability is Counterblast 1, pay the cost, choose 2 opponent's rearguards, tap them, and at the end of the opponent's next turn, if they're still tapped, you get to draw a card, which means that they either need to kill them, sacrifice them, or stand them in some way. And they can't stand during your opponent's next stand phase. It's a really good card. Combos well with some of the other rares that are coming out, like Sweet Cocktail, and some of the commons like Earth Dreamer, so that you can have like 3 things tapped, and then that means that you get all kinds of card advantage. You can get up to like 4 cards in card advantage on your opponent's turn, and that's just being conservative, and not like going crazy about it, because sometimes you just want to go crazy about it, don't you? You want to feel that power. I forgot to do this. And, you know, that really does help. You know, when you have that power and when you can screw up the opponent during their turn, it gives Mega Colony an edge that it doesn't normally have. Now, as for soul charging, honestly, you don't want to soul charge too much in any Mega Colony deck. First off, the Darkface deck will use up a lot of cards from your deck. And so what you want to do, actually, is you want to run things that don't soul charge, but instead things like the Break Ride, or things that go into Soul as a starter, so that you can do it twice. I assure you, you don't need to do it more than twice. Because if you do it too many other times, then they might get super, you know, weird. Like, that's a weird game. Like, if it is what I'm thinking about. You know what I mean? It's like, all of a sudden you're tapping them, you've got plenty of Soul. Some people are running Machining's Mosquito. However, I would not recommend that. Again, deck is tight. Might as well just sort of let it go. Once you use up those abilities, re-ride or stride. You will be too busy striding to care. Late game, you will have, you know, your hand preserved, so you want to just keep that hand as long as possible while crushing your enemies and seeing them flee before you. I'll talk about him more when I do my Mega Colony deck profiles, of which there will be many. No, there's just going to be 2. Raphael, Holy Seraph. Holy shit. Once per turn, G-Break 2, unflip a Holy Seraph, face up, heal. That's good. Like, a heal on command for free, because flipping something over isn't much of a cost. It's just wonderful. I love it. I like it. I think it's fantastic. Yeah. Run at least 2 in every Angel Feather deck. It is a guarantee. Want 4 if you can. This should be one of the more expensive triple rares. It's not. This makes me sad. Black Shiver Gabriel. When a card is put into your damage zone until end of turn, this unit gets plus 2k in the front row. All units in the front row get plus 2k. You combine this up with the Pegasi and a few other very interesting characters. All of a sudden, during your opponent's phase, let's say you take 3 damage, there's a plus 60 of Vanguard. Against things like Aquaforce, that's pretty good. Oh, what's that? It's just a 10k guard to guard your Lambros turn? Then, not? Well then, good thing I saved my guard and took all that damage. Yeah, it's just good. Like, all of a sudden you're at a 17k defense. I've had a Gold Paladin deck with Zero Knight, and that gave plus 2k. Well, the guy was playing against Witches, plus 2k to your Vanguard because he searched for top 10, choose 2. And that caused him to be at a 15k defense, which just wrecked the turn. Sure, he minus 2, but he didn't have to spend cards from hand. Stride ability. During your turn, when G-Unit strides, Counterblast 1, look at top 3, choose 1 card, put it in the damage zone face up, put the rest of the bottom of the deck in any order, choose a face up, call it to rearguard, plus 2k. That's okay. It's just a deck flipper outer that activates some powerful abilities to gain power during things. All I can really say about that. Finishing up is Asha. Asha's ability is unflip one of her own once per turn. Until end of turn, this unit gets once per turn. Choose one of your rear guards, and if you have 2 or more rear guards, same card name, all of your units to front row get plus 5k. Then at the number face-up cards in your Z-Zone 2 or more, choose one of your rear guards, search your deck, blah blah blah, say name, call it to rear guard, shuffle deck, plus 2k. She's okay. She makes Asha better, but at the same time, honestly, I like the Jingle Fucker. I like the other cards that sort of support her a bit better than she does, and I know I'm going to run Maiden of Flower Pistol as my other grade 3, and Gabriel. You know, I just she's good, and maybe she's a 2 of, but I'm not going to spend money on her. Not for a while, anyway. What Bushiroad is doing, they're sort of keeping supply down, and that's keeping prices high. Unlike what they did before, which is kind of just bleh, it all out. But it's pretty good. I like it. It just means more stuff people have to work with. This is weird. Hold up. Let me just grab this real quick. You are hearing Orchid by V. Andreev. Please enjoy. Oh. Huh, SPs. Maiden. Let me just make sure I got everything. Probably should have done this more complete earlier, but I didn't realize my double and triple rares is such in disarray. I really didn't want to restart. Huh. And now it's Amur Waves by M. Quis. Who knows with these Russians? Who knows? Where's my... Hold up. There he is. Alright. Hold up. 14, 15, 11, 13, 12, 21, 22, 18, 19, 15, 16. Okay, this looks like everything. Let me just make sure. I feel paranoid. Wait, hold on. There's a simple way I could do this. So it starts off... Asha's the last of the triple rares, and she's 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. That's 20. 16, 17. 16, 17. 18. 19, 20, 21, 22. Alright, there we go. Now, I'm probably still missing something. Either way, let's go this in numerical order. Knight of Reform, Pier. G-Break 1, we need another grade 2 is placed on R. And you have a grade 3 or greater Ultimile. Choose 2 units of the same column as this unit, get plus 2k. So it's plus 4k to a column when a grade 2 is placed. That's up to a plus 12 to that column. And let's say it's a Knight of whatever thing that gets plus 2k. Or plus 3k even. Okay, let's say it's a 12k attacker. So you place a 12k attacker down. Plus 8k. So it's 20k. Plus 4k. 31k as a column. That's fantastic. He's a pretty good card, but he's limited in Ultimiles. That's it. So, you know, if you play Ultimile, he's great. If you don't, you should probably leave him alone. He reminds me of that one guy who used to boost Liberator and you get the top card for free. Barco Liberator? I think it was. Yeah. Back in set 12. Crimson War Metatron. Choose one of your rearguards and damage zone face up. Choose a card from your damage zone, call it to rearguard circle, and if you have a... This is limit break. If you have a Crimson Impact Metatron, it gets plus 3k. And Counterblast 1, put this unit into the damage zone face up. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a face up, put it in your hand. A lot of switching out. Honestly, I don't feel she's very good. Except in a deck dedicated to Crimson Metatron, as well as to gain power and to do shenanigans with the tricks. You know what I mean? Shenanigans with the tricks. Choose one of your rearguards, put it into the soul, so you can get Metatron in there easier. Choose a card from your soul, put it into the damage zone face up, choose a face up card from your damage zone, call it to rearguard. Some Celestial stuff doesn't require the Celestial archetype, so maybe you could work with that to create something a bit more interesting. But for power, for other things, she really needed to be a cross ride. However, maybe you can make a really good deck out of her. I would like to see that. Black Slice Harut. Counterblast 1. This unit attacks a Vanguard boosted. Pay the cost if you do look at the top two cards. Search for one card among them. Put it into your damage zone face up. The rest at the bottom of the deck. Choose a face up card from your damage zone. Call it to rearguard circle. Pretty good. And with the heals, they're starting to, you know, they're pretty good with counterblasts. So you just got to be careful. Why do all the black slices and whatnot have scissors? It's disturbing. This is a Perf Plus, and it'll unflip a Counterblast. Run 4 of it in your deck, and you won't worry about Counterblasts. I wish there was some other better way to say it, but there isn't. This is a card I'm looking forward to. Taboo Mage Kalar. Is he wearing blackface? Nope, it's just a mask. Good. I'd hate for him to be, you know, racially biased. Jeez. Put this unit into the soul. When your Vanguard attacks, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Claret Sword, pay the cost. If you do, draw a card, choose one of your Vanguards plus 5k. So you can summon him out with various abilities, and then you place him here and boost something like a Maka or whatever. You summon something else out. He then goes into the soul, plus 5k to Claret Sword. There are Claret Sword turns where you'll have 21 plus crit 2. So maybe if you like, say, Break Ride, so it's 31 plus, then you boost it, 38 plus, and then all of a sudden he's hitting 48 crit 2. 43 crit 2. That's pretty good. You do it multiple times, and you get cards in hand. Really great stuff. However, it is a crit trigger outside of your deck, so you gotta be careful. Let's see here. Where's 6? There it is. So we have 2 Genesis right here. They're sort of evil Genesis or neutral Genesis. I don't know. Fenrir's kind of a dick. Actually, I like him, but for his lore, but I don't like his abilities. So, Counterblast 1, G-Break 1. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, boosted. Soul Charge 3. Put a card from the drop zone into your soul. Sorry. If your card was put into the drop zone from the soul until end of turn, draw a card. He's nice. He's nice. He'll do work for you. However, certain decks require too many counterblasts, so you got to be careful. You want to make sure that you've got enough counterblasts for your main girl's ability. I'm speaking here from Hilder. I wish I could use her, but sadly no. Hell per plus unflip a damage with a copy in the soul. Let's see here. Then we're doing. Then we're doing Upstream Dragon. This guy's interesting. G-Break 1, once you attacks a Vanguard, you may have this unit get plus 4k until into battle. And that could be, by the way, a lot. You could hit like 23k easily with that. If you do, because there's a lot of good boosters in Gear Chronicle late game. At the end of battle, return this unit to your deck, shuffle your deck, search for a grade 1 card, call it to rearguard as tap, shuffle your deck. End of battle is a little bit but at the same time there's some really good abilities that you could do for this, as well as sort of fix out your grade 2s and grade 1s with it. I don't know if I'll play it or not, but I'll certainly give it a shot, see what it does in Chronojet. Especially since I do seem to have problems like getting grade 1s and whatnot working right. Mega Colony, Double Rare, Star Shield, Rebel Mutant. Pretty cool art, Perf Plus, so it'll unflip a damage. Finally, we have Neo Nectar. Start off with a Revival Legion for Maiden of Trailing Rose. It's actually really good. A lot of potential for power, as well as deck pulling out. Also, they're both pretty sexy. Yeah. Choose a card from your hand and discard it. If this unit when this unit legions, you may pay the cost. If you do, search for up to 2 cards with the same card name as your unit on the Vanguard, reveal them to opponent. Choose a card, put it into your hand, call the rest to rearguard, shuffle deck. So in other words, you summon a copy of her, and then Trailing Rose. Keep Trailing Rose in the hand, put her on the rearguard spot, which means you have a copy of her, which means certain cards will actually go off and give you more power. It's all about the combos with this Legion. And then on hit, you can discard the Maiden and summon 2 more things. Soul Blast 2 when this unit plays on rearguard circle. Some people forget that ability. The secondary abilities, when you ride it, stride it, or call it to Vanguard somehow. But, you know, don't forget this for yourself. If you do, choose one of your grade 1 or lesses. Search your deck for up to 1 card with the same card name. Call it to rearguard, shuffle your deck. Good targets for this is almost anything that came out recently. However, the Apple Sisters, which get plus 2k for every copy of the Apple Sisters in play when they boost, is a good target. And I think probably made for her. Though I will be using it in my own Asha deck. Then we have Flower Chamber Maiden Saliana. Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1 is units placed if you have grade 3 or greater rearguard with Homunculus. In a card name, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your other rearguards. Search your deck for a copy, call it to rearguard, shuffle deck, plus 2. This unit gets plus 2k. She's actually really good for an Asha deck. Potential for field expansion is really good with her. You choose the right cards, you copy the right cards, a lot of boost is potential. You know, that's really good. Honestly, though, she's all in the combo. So things like the Apple Sisters and whatnot, so that she can hit higher than, you know, whatever, will be really important. So, I don't know. She's in the play rather than the description. She summons a copy. Those copies determine what you do with her. Take this. Flower Garden Maiden Milas. Put this unit into the soul when your Vanguard attacks if you have a grade 3 or greater Homunculus. Pay the cost if you do, draw a card, and give plus 5 to the Vanguard. Yeah, it's alright. She'll do work. She ain't bad. I think she's a bit better, honestly, than some things out there, because Homunculus has a hard time giving yourself power when you don't stride. Alright, that's the double rares. Let's go for the rares. And then the commons later. Hey guys, what clan would you like me to do next? We've got the oh wait, you can't. I can't hear you. You're all meaningless thoughts to me. Anyway, Heat Element Bois. Besides being an articulation of surprise, this guy's actually a little useful. Retire this unit. When this unit attacks its Vanguard, you may pay the cost if you do search your deck for up to 1 card with Limit Break ability. Limit Break 4, Limit Break 5, Limit Break 3, it doesn't matter. Any Limit Break. Reveal it to the opponent and put it into your hand. Shuffle deck. Really good for deck thing, also really good for decks that do require Limit Breaks and break rides and whatnot, but at the same time have sort of a free grade 2 lineup. I don't think this will see much play, but at the same time, for those who do have, you know, who run like a grade 3 thin deck, this would be perfect for you if you play limit break cards. Then we have Tech Gall. A lot of people don't know what total football is. Google it. It's kind of a more badass version of soccer. Or football if you're not an American. Soul Blast 1 and tap this card. When another unit same column attacks, You may pay the cost if you do increase that unit's power by this unit's power until end of battle. So let's say, here's an interesting scenario. Let's say you put him behind Alfred. You tap him, Soul Blast him. You might think, oh yeah, 28k. No. You can give him power, like say with the stand trigger that gives plus 3k to various units, and then returns to the deck, so that he becomes a 11k. So that becomes 31k instead. It's really nice. He fills out things in some of the weirder early Royal Paladin gaps that, quite frankly, were just strange things. Yeah, like Alfred, Soul Saber, and whatnot. So, you know, but Soul Saber is bad kind of because Soul Blast. But anyway, let's work up to Mega Colony. So here we have Gear Chronicle, Steam Fighter Ningen. Once per turn, when your unit's rear is put into the deck due to an effect for one of your cards, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Chrono Jet in the name, countercharge 1. There is a Steam Fighter something or other that's Soul Blast 1 unflip a damage. This guy's just a better version of him. He was kind of underpowered, but I still ran him, but now because I run a Chrono Jet heavy deck, I don't need him anymore. I can save my soul for nothing, because I don't use it for anything else. Point is, I won't be limited anymore. Counterblast. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard for Steam Fighter Bala, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rear guards in the front row. Let's see here. Does that have to be on Vanguard? Yes. No. Wait. No, he's on rear guard. This is on rear guard. Shit. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, choose one of your opponent's rear guards in the front row and puts it at the bottom of the deck. Choose an interceptor. Or don't choose anything. Yeah. And then he'll activate this guy's ability and unflip. You get a free return something to the bottom of the deck as long as you have a Chrono Jet. Vanguard, during your turn when G-Unit Stride, choose one of your Vanguards until end of turn it gets blah 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 blah. Search your deck for up to one Chrono Jet Dragon, place it on Vanguard as a Heart Shuffle deck. And if you did this, choose a card from this guy and slip him in the bottom of the deck. It's nice. He suddenly makes Upheaval Pegasus a guarantee, various abilities a guarantee, all kinds of great stuff, just sort of waiting to be comboed up. Let's say you're running this and he's tried it next stage. Hey, guess what? Chrono Jet. Haha. Yeah, not much else to say about it. Honestly, I'll be running 4 of him with my Chrono Jet. It was a no-brainer. Just no-brainer. Yeah. Then we have Early Flowering Maiden Pia. Choose 2 normal units from the drop zone, put it at the top of the deck so no triggers. In any order, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Ramunculus, choose one of your units. If you do, choose up to 4 units with the same card name as that unit plus 3k until end of turn shuffle deck. It's okay. Choosing himself makes him a 10k booster, plus other things, which means that, you know, you could be doing a lot of power here. Especially with like a Jinglefucker or something. Maiden's Neonectar is really pushing up for the power and the field control because they know that it's lackluster. It is not powerful at all, so they kind of have to move it into the overpower territory. But at the same time, they can't jump too hard or otherwise they'll overturn the meta. And the last thing we need is a rampaging Neonectar. Had a little bit of power outage there. Let's talk about the second Neonectar rare, and that is Maiden of Flower Screen. This was actually a promo, funnily enough. This is not a promo, this is a rare. People paid $30 for that promo. This is a rare. Yeah, well, it's a good card. Once per turn, G-Break 1. Put a normal unit in the drop zone, put it at the top of the deck. Choose one of your other units, and this unit is the same name till end of turn. Shuffle deck. Yeah, it's to really help out Chef and other things that require, you know, multiples of. I've seen, you know, plus 10Ks given out just because there's 5 of the same name, thanks to Jinglefucker.
Good morning, lab.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's good. It's a 4 of it in a lot of these things.
I wasn't in the lab all night because I'm single. I was
Yep.
stuck here because I'm black and a door wouldn't open for me.
I can't remember whether I did Genesis. Oh well. Fenrir Stride Enabler.
He spent the night trapped in his kiosk.
Stride 2. It's Mythic Beast Skull. It's pretty good. I like it. It's a cute little doggy thing. You know how it is, dogs. It's a little soft spot in my heart, a little cutie with its sword. And then Mythic Snake, Jormungand, the World Serpent, the beautiful beast, love the sounds of soul shattering. Again, an evil Genesis person. As you can tell, they are not nearly as hot, and they're male. There's a lot of, things here, Genesis. Wouldn't want you to be accused of misandry in this world. It's G-Break 1. When your card is put into the drop zone from the soul, plus 1k until end of turn. This is pretty good. A lot of things like discard 6 cards or 3 cards from the soul, or even more. I know that in a proper Brunhilde turn, if I break ride, I know and do Brunhilde's ability, I will use up, 6 of them. 9 of them plus. And that means plus 9k to this, which means an 18k. And there's a grade 1 version. So that's, that was a 7k, 16, 34k column? It's not bad. I run stance. Goddess of the Firmament, Dione, Soul Blast, 3 once you attack, it's a Vanguard. Look top 3, search for 1 card, put them into your hand, rest in the soul. This isn't bad. It's you want to combo this up with like Doom Brace or something like that, so that you have a good variety to go for, depending on what you do. Legion has their Regalia one, which unflips damage and soul charges and other things like that. Not really fond of her, but this one I'm actually really fond of, especially since it's really just a Soul Blast 1. And there's some certain commons that can actually return cards to the deck. Let's see here, talking about this. We haven't talked about Angel Feather.
And I'm saying fantastic.
Dark Quartz Dragon. This is actually a combo up with Dark Pride Dragon. Dark Quartz Dragon. When this unit is placed on rearguard, if you have anywhere, by the way, G-Break 1, if you have a grade 3 or greater Claret Sword Dragon card name, choose one of your Vanguards, and this unit and that unit gets plus 3k until end of turn. Eventually I'm going to do my Claret Sword Dragon deck profile. It'll be completed with cards like this added to it. It's a pretty good card, honestly. Solid. Every Claret Sword deck should be running 4, just like they should be running 4 of Dark Pride. G-Break 1, when this unit is put into the drop zone from R, because you killed it for something. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Claret Sword, and its card name, search your deck for 1 Dark Quartz. This guy, call to rearguard. If you called this guy, countercharge 1. So, let's say you break ride Mordred, and then you eat this guy, and Dark Pride, you can make Mordred free. Yeah, he just does work. That's the thing. It's not like he's some sort of special super awesome thing. He does work. That's the deal. He runs 4 of just like this. If you run this guy, you run this guy. You don't have to technically run this guy for this guy, but you should run it. You should just do it, because it's so good. With things like Rosny, it really starts putting out power, like a lot. Overbearing Knight Gilvez. He's a good alternative to like Claret Sword and a good combo. Choose 2 of your rearguards and retire them to return plus 5k, and when this unit hits a Vanguard, choose 2 of your opponent's rearguards and retire them. That's actually really good. I'm surprised. I always thought it was just 1, but reading it more closely, it's 2. He's kind of cool. Honestly, he's a good cheap unit for any sort of beginning Shadow Paladin player. He's not really born on anything, but he does require G-Break. During your turn, when your G unit stride, choose one of your Vanguards plus 5k. That's generic, whatever.
Anything else?
It is what it is. Alright. Quite frankly, I'm running Claret Sword. I don't really have space for him, but he would be a close second, I guess. Let's see here. I'll save Mega Colony for last. Then we have Angel Feather. Quintet Wall. Quintet Walls are now rares. Top 5, they guard, tapped. If let's say the opponent blocks zeros, you can use zeros with this card. That sort of thing. If they do a perfect shield, you can discard a card for the perfect shield. Yes, they still have Sentinel. Black Call Nadir. It is a Nakir. It is a Stride Enabler for Gabriel. That's it. Not much else to say about him. Her. Yeah. I like her outfit, though. I'm kind of fond of the sleeveless look.
Although there's a lot of fighting upstairs about whether it was the idea or the execution.
Let's see here. Control Celestial Hell. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you have a Vanguard with Celestial in the card name, this unit gets +2K until end of battle. And if you have a face-up in the damage zone, same card name as the unit on your Vanguard. So, for example, Zerakiel, until end of turn, this unit gets, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, counter charge, soul charge 1. This ain't bad. This is a pretty good card and probably a good card for any Celestial deck. I know certain decks can really hit like 26K with a card like this. So yeah, it's definitely going in the Celestial deck. Excellent Celestial Batariel. She combos up with Asmodel or her. But honestly, I'm not that impressed with her. Legion, top card of your deck into your damage zone. Face-up card from your damage zone, call it to R. And if you have a face-up card in your damage zone, same card name as this girl or someone else on the Vanguard circle, the unit call gets +5K. That's not bad. I just don't like it. I think that normal Celestial does a little bit better work and smoother as well. Less shenanigans and more just pure power. When this unit's placed on the Vanguard circle, look at the top 3 cards. Search your deck for one of them. Damage zone, face-up, rest into your drop zone, face-up card from the damage zone, and heal it. Wait, what? Oh. Yeah, it's not bad. You put a card into your damage zone and then you heal it. You put some cards in the drop zone, which can really, thin out the deck. You got to be careful, though. Angel Feather is all about the drops on his hand. So you mess it up the hand, you're probably not going to win the game. Holy Seraph Raziel. He's really interesting. Soul Blast 2, when it's placed on Vanguard, return all cards, unflipped or otherwise, from the damage zone to your deck. Let's say you got a whole bunch of triggers. Damage zone to deck.
Yes, they are, Phil.
All cards, though, so if you have a Zerakiel in there already, you're kind of screwing that up. Shuffle your deck for each card returned by this effect. Top card of your damage zone, face up. Yep.
Yes, I ended up paying for 2 chickens, but still,
They didn't fix the system.
Sure they did. The lights were on when I got here, so...
All they did was hire a bunch of minimum wage white guys to follow the black employees around
Let's see here.
and activate things for us.
Oh my goodness. So this is pretty good. I'll run a couple of them in there. Much like Dion, you don't want 4 of them because, things like Doombrace, but in this case Raziel and the Celestial Stride do work as well, but she's pretty good.
Well, that's because it's salt. You huge idiot.
What is it?
Salt. Salt.
New Face Mutant Little Dorcas. Stride Enabler for Darkface.
Because I don't care.
Not racist. Let's see here. I like the design. It's alright. Honestly, certain parts of Mega Colony I'm not really liking because they go for an organic bug version, but I'm not okay with it. It's alright. I wish there was a bit more savagery.
Really shouldn't eat things in here.
Except I'm not complaining about her. Charming Mutant Sweet Cocktail. Yeah, I'd let her give me a cocktail. Serve me. And then she'd cocoon me up and I'd get eaten by a spider. Let's not kid ourselves, guys. Mega Colony is a bunch of evil mutant bug things. Counterblast 1, this unit attacks a Vanguard. This unit is boosted, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rearguards, tap it. Until end of the opponent's next phase, it gets. Next turn, it gets. At the end of turn, if this unit is tapped, you may draw a card. It can also, the opponent cannot also intercept with it. Really good. Comboed it up with Darkface, so you can draw like 3 cards at the end of the opponent's turn. However, do be careful about your counterblasts. You kind of want to save them for Stun Beetle. Unless, of course, you're just fucking with your opponent, in which case, hey, just do it, man. But be careful of deck thinning. It is a problem. I can't repeat it enough. Machining Mosquito Mark II during your turn if your opponent Vanguard Machining. No, if you have a Vanguard with Machining and card name, Vanguards or Rearguards and tapped of the opponent. By the way, you can do that with like various Stride units and the fact that the opponent just attack you all the time. This unit gets +2K when this unit attack hits a Vanguard. Choose one of your opponent's Rearguards. Choose one of your other Rearguards. Stand it once per turn, by the way. Choose one of your opponent's Rearguards and that unit cannot stand it until the opponent's next turn.
Go on.
In fact, I
Next stand phase.
I'm surprised to hear you say that since you said he was such a great guy.
I know, and
He's pretty good. Honestly, he has a lot of on-hit pressure. While Machining does have on-hit pressure, they need more. Mega Colony always needs more pressure. They are not nearly overpowered enough yet, and they must continue to be so. Continuing this is Machining Scorpion Mark II, Counterblast 1. Choose a card with this same card name as a unit from your hand. Vanguard unit from hand, discard it. So in other words, one of these two, or with the other one. By the way, I run both in the deck just to maximize this. If this unit is in Legion, choose 3 cards with machining from the card name from the soul called a separate R is tapped. Increase the unit sum by the original power of the units. By the way, that's 21k usually, and can be as much as, 11, 33, 53k. However, that's kind of dumb.
This whole black thing has turned into a complete nightmare.
Once per turn, choose one of your machining rearguards, put in the soul, choose one of your rearguards, stand it, choose one of your opponents, and they cannot stand again until the next stand phase. This is pretty good. What you do...
Which doesn't make any sense because our system won't see them either. So then we'd have to hire more white people for those black people, which we can't do without hiring more black people. Oh, Ted, I'm having the most awful...
It's basically... Like, there's a card called Machining Worker Ant. Comes out of the soul. It's saying something. Boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Put it into the soul. Stand another rear guard. And then you can tap something. So all of a sudden you got a free column. That turn, when you're not expected to. That's an overpowered ability right there. Combos. Combos within combos.
Terrible day. Things were finally starting to look up.
Let's see. Parasphere. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, tap all the opponent's units.
You couldn't have mentioned that a couple seconds ago.
If you have 3 or more tapped units, this unit gets plus 5k.
I mean, it always is with me.
And, oh wait, right. And you draw a card.
Good together.
Oh wait, that's good. A lot of Mega Colony doesn't really need draws anymore, partly because of Parasphere, partly because he is so good. He does so much work. I love him to death. He's at least one in every deck because, I have things like Jaggy Devil and others. And it's going to be just great. Honestly, he's going to be a mainstay, partly because so many things require everything to be tapped. And sometimes the opponent thinks it's a smart-ass move to keep something untapped.
When the moment's gone with you, it's really gone.
I've been doing some reading.
Yeah, that's it. That's all the rares. Alright, guys. I'm going to come back with comments.
It'd be too expensive. Ted, this is...
Let's talk about commons, yeah. We're nearly done. A lot of things out there. A lot of new shit. A lot of decks are becoming S-class real fast. Maybe, hopefully, I don't know.
There is no class.
There is no class anymore. It's just simply the strong and how many times you can stride against the other guy until he runs out of perfect shields and grade zeros. Yeah, that's a real thing. Anyway, so we got another Cray Elemental. Dark Element Toxic. Basically, once per turn, choose one of your Vanguard's abilities, and it becomes LB4 as long as LB5 abilities, and it becomes an LB4 ability as long as it's on the field. Yeah. So, what does it work for? It works for... Well, wait. Here's a good combo. You have Glory. You put this on the field. Then you have the Limit Break Enabler. The Limit Break Enabler means that this guy is removed. So, in other words, you bring it down so you can use Glory from turn 1. Why would you do that? No, don't do that. It's kind of defeating the purpose.
Race you to the elevator?
But you can also use it for things like Brunhilde, which can sort of mean you can do it at 4 rather than 5, which means your opponent can be like, I've kept you at 5, and if you take my thing, you'll get a crit.
I win! This is the most fun anyone.
And then you slap it down here, and it's like, ha! Brunhilde! Something like that. You know how it works.
Same rules as for losing your virginity.
Anyway, yeah, that's Cray Elementals. I like Cray Elementals. They do work. Not all of them.
My daughter is selling wrapping paper.
Let's see here. Hollyhock Knight, Neo Nectar, Legion. If your Vanguard is Legion, plus 2k for each of your rear guard, same name as a unit on your Vanguard. By the way, do you remember back in the day when I said that, you can choose a Legion and then Maiden Trailing Roses, you place the Legion down there. All of a sudden this is a 9k booster. You do it again, another 9k booster, so that it's a 11k booster. So all of a sudden you're hitting a lot of numbers. Yeah.
Hey, do you guys have the specs for the solar-powered ovens?
So, 3 Apple Sisters. When this unit, G-Break 1, when this unit boosts for each of your other 3 Apple Sisters on the rearguard circle, boosted unit gets plus 2k.
I hate coming down here.
Sorry. Don't worry, we only play that clean needle game with the clean needles.
Here's a Band-Aid. And there's your lady shoulder.
So do you remember that rare I talked about earlier?
To my desk. I'll be
Boop,
hoping
boop,
I never
ba-doop,
hear the term
boop, bop.
lady shoulder ever
made in a flower screen. So let's say that you have 5 3-apple sisters out there. That means that the boosted unit gets plus 8K.
This is that experimental energy.
So it's a 14K booster. Wow. So that means that this is a 23K column. Plus, let's say we have a bunch of ashes. All of a sudden, this turns into a 33K column. Wow. I actually like 3-apple sisters, and I will be trying her out. See how they go. You know, give the sisters a little love.
Extra energy. Why trouble her with something that might...
So we got Wisteria Knight. I actually like this one as well. G-Break 1 when this unit attacks at Vanguard. If you have another Wisteria Knight on R, until the end of burn, this gets plus 2K. Counterblast 1 when this unit hits, you can draw a card.
We've been working on Viridian's new solar-powered ovens. We've had a great amount of
It's pretty good.
success with it so far.
I like it. 4 of. It does a lot of work. Honestly, Neonectars like Mega Colony, it always needs more stuff, and never has enough stuff when it has it. And I think it'll do good. I think we'll see it a little bit. You know what I mean? Finally, Crystal Wing Dragon, G-Break 1 turn, Counterblast 1. Choose 1 of your units. If you do, choose 4 of your units, same card name, plus 3K until end of turn. It's just a lesser Asha for a Counterblast. It's not bad. I like it. You know, I'm not going to run it in my deck because I'm going to be running Pistol Flower Thingamabob. Let's see here. Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, see the place on Vanguard. Choose 1 of your grade 2 or less rearguard. Search your deck for 1 with the same card name as the unit. Call it to rearguard, so shuffle the deck. Yeah, it's generic. It works. You can't go wrong with it. If you're worried about what to play on the Vanguard Circle, use it. However, I'm sort of worried about the rearguard circles as well. So I'm looking for some kind of fusion. However, this is a close second if I can't find anything. Let's see. Gear Chronicle. Steamworker Kuda. Put this unit into the soul, choose a Vanguard, plus 5K. When this unit attacks its Vanguard, choose 1 of your opponent's rearguards, put some problem in the deck. That's not bad. It works. I like it. I might try it, partly because I don't really like the other ones.
Let me rephrase that. I'd like 5 more rolls, please.
You know, yeah. Steam Fighter Lugal Banda. He's a crit trigger. Another crit trigger. They can do 12 crit now, I think. Unless they couldn't do it before. I think they could. However, 12 crit I don't really agree. Forethought Gear Fox. This is a card I'm actually going to try a lot of, just because I think he's trolly as fuck. He is basically a Tom on a grade 1. When this unit attacks, until in the battle, your opponent cannot call grade 0s from hand to G. So basically, let's say that you stride and you have 1 on the rearguard circle. You have, let's say here, Gear Wolf, so that's now a 10K booster, 16K, but let's say that you get some triggers, 21 crit 2, 31 crit 2, you know, blah, 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 you'll hit it. I'm going to try it out, see what happens, let you know. Steam Knight Calibum. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle, choose 1 of your opponent's rearguards. Opponent returns that unit to the deck, searches his deck for 1 card grade less, call it to R, shuffle the deck. Let's see here. Your opponent returns.
Fine. It's a deal.
Now, here's something that Gear Chronicle's actually been needing. They have been needing non-G support. And here he is. And he's alright. But here's a funny thing. You hit a... your opponent can choose not to find a card if there's none he or she wishes to call. But basically, you can slap it here, hit their grade 1 booster. They can either choose a trigger or they can choose nothing. Which means it's a solid -1, or it's a, you know, a crit trigger out of the deck. Or heal trigger or draw trigger. Hopefully they don't have one that, you know, does stuff. A lot of fun going on here. Definitely going to try this in my deck. It's what I've been looking for. My deck has been through a lot of stuff and workarounds and all that jazz, and I just, you know, hopefully I'll find something. Come on, Ben, keep going. Royal Paladins. Jump Gall. He's interesting. I don't know how useful he'll actually be, but he's interesting. If you have 2 or more grade 1 or less rearguards and this unit is in the front row, this unit gets plus 5K and an intercept. So it's a 10K attacker, and it can intercept for 10K. That's not bad.
She's new. You can click on her name to find out more about her.
It's,
If you want to crush your competition,
you know, it does work.
we do. You want to get to know everything.
Well, no, it doesn't do work. It's weird. It might work. We should try it out.
What kind of wheelchair they're confined to.
Doop-a-doop-a-doop-boop-boop. Straight Jewel Knight. Bartram. At the end of the... Actually, it's because he has a long straight sword. Jeez. Come on, guys. Get my mind out of the butter. Straight Jewel Knight Bartram. At the end of your turn, if you have a Vanguard with Jewel Knight in the card name, or 3 or more other Jewel Knights in the card name, draw a card, put the on top of the deck, shuffle. It's not bad. Hurricane-proof dogs. He's really good. There's a Gold Paladin version of him that must be summoned from the deck, but this guy just does it whenever you want. But at the end of your turn, at the end of your turn. So that ain't bad, honestly. Let's say he's a good target for, like, if somebody does that one Gear Chronicle thing on you. Or if, you know, there's potential. There's potential.
We're gonna have to step it up.
Battle Song Angel. Royal Paladin Angel, interestingly enough. If you have 2 or more grade 1 or lesses, this unit gets plus 2k and resist. G-Break 1. However, you know, you have to have like 3 of them, otherwise they'll start being killed, which will make it lose resist, which is bad. Somebody smart will take advantage of that.
You want to win, you just need to hear it's okay.
By the way, how do I know it's not an ability there? Because it's in red, it gets it when disc is off. 9k booster. Toy Poogle is currently the 9k booster for Royals, and he does a lot of work. This is a new one, and I think it might be somewhat better. We'll have to experiment with it.
Obsessed with the guy. Ted, you've got to focus. This is about
Sanctuary Guard Archer. If you have a Vanguard with Sanctuary Guard in the name, plus 2k until end of battle. When the unit is placed on rear guard, counterblast 2 if you have Sanctuary Guard name. Pay the cost if you do. Search your deck for 1 grade 1 or less card, call it to rear guard, shuffle deck. Basically, it's continuing the Sanctuary Guard stuff. It's a slightly more expensive sword me. You know, and it will do work for Sanctuary Guard. Give them their own attacker.
People have had such a tumultuous history.
Let's say that there's 3 grade 3s, and you're giving plus 3k to each of your thing for your front row for each of it, plus 9k, 20. Let's say it's a Toy Poogle boosting. No, not a Toy Poogle. It's dumb. Let's say that there's a Battle Song Angel boosting. So already it's a 20k column. It turns into a 29k column. It's pretty good. Skillful Night Jed. G-Break 1 with the unit attacks of Vanguard. Choose one of the other regards plus 5k. There's a Seeker version of this, and I think I might combo the 2 up just to see what'll happen. See how much ability, how much pressure I'll give out. Certainly it'll do work.
We could just stand here without a plan.
Keeping going here. Now for commons. So many abilities. Feather of Letter Lading. He's one of the new Genesises. Forerunner. Put this unit in a soul. G-Break 1. Choose one of your Vanguards, and until end of turn it gets once per turn. So when you summon out a unit not named Letter of Fading, Lading, is put in the drop zone from your soul. Call it to R. It's basically a free one of those witches, like Witch of Crows and whatnot. Pretty good. You can really fill out a deck with them. Field with them. Witch's Familiar Shiroma. It's a weasel. I like it. With a big hat. That's a nice hat. This weasel has a nice hat. Oh, damn. Put this unit at the top of the deck. Shuffle deck. If you have a Vanguard Witch, draw a card. Look at the top. It looks like you can just do it whenever you want. If you have a Vanguard Witch, draw a card. Look at the top 3 from the top of the deck. Search for a card among them. Put it into your soul, put the rest in your drop zone. I'm not sure why they do that. Maybe there's a combo I'm just not aware of because I don't play witches, but this is weird. Draw a card, look at top 3 cards. The draw a card's nice. And the top 3 cards to put something in the soul, I guess can do work, and the rest in the drop zone, I guess can do work for Legion. Bumping Buffalo. It's a crit.
Based on the dose you receive,
Dreaming Dragon. This is actually one of my favorite cards in this set. Put this unit at the top of the deck. At the end of turn, you may pay the cost. If you do, G-Break 1. Return all cards from your drop zone to the deck. Shuffle your deck. If 10 or more cards will return, draw a card. So, you can choose to do it, but here's the thing. It'll return all cards. So if you have a lot of non-triggers, and you're in no danger of decking out, and there's a lot of triggers left in your deck, don't do them. Just don't do them. However, if you desperately need a little hand hey, guess what? This guy can do a little bit of hand. That's the thing.
Crazy day.
And besides that, he's a stand unit that returns to the deck. It's really good.
Not only are you going to Disneyland, but Mickey's going to be wearing your ears on his head.
Let's see here. You can run a little stand in Genesis, but not a lot. A little stand. You still need crit. I don't know whether it can replace the Regalia one. Witch of Cherries, Poppy, good art, best art. Seems to be a giant with little trees and whatnot. I'm not sure what they were going for. But she's pretty cute. I like her. Some people are making jokes about her. Those people are immature. Really, guys. Come on. They have a fruit witch theme thing, and you don't think Witch of Cherries will come up? You don't think the name Poppy because they also have like a herbalism thing going on? Yeah, that's right, jackasses. I thought not. Goddess of Youth, Hebe. Now, this is my favorite heal trigger for Genesis out so far, and I mean that, like, genuinely. I like her art, I like her look, I like what she's holding, Cornucopia, Ambrosia, all these kind of references that I get, Bird of Paradise, the Son of Youth, among other things, love and all that jazz, white flowers, and more youth, love and all that jazz, purity.
I made cookies.
You made cookies an hour ago.
AK. Federa Fiber Dromy. His job is to keep Fenrir in check. He failed. Mythic Beast Hati, G-Break 1 when the card is put into the drop zone from your soul. This thing gets plus 1k, G-Break 1. It's really good.
Eat it. Don't get her mad again.
There's that baby again. He cries every night.
Babies do that.
Yep. So yeah, you Soul Blast a lot. Like Yggdrasil Soul Blasts a lot and he gets power. But Yggdrasil requires more Regalia, so maybe not her. I don't know. Claimer Harry. When your card gets put into the drop zone from the soul, put that card in the bottom of the deck and soul charge 1. I mean, sorry, unflip of 1 counterblast. There we go. Guess what? He can put crits back into the deck.
Stay out of this, Kathy. This is between me and the baby. Who is just the cutest thing in the world? Oh my God.
He's pretty good. I think I'll run him with Brunhilde just because it's shits and giggles. If you Brunhilde twice in a game, the opponent is dumbfounded. You basically win the game. Basically, just because you just broke their lines again.
A baby. I'm naming her Ted.
Witch of Melon's Time. See that? Like Witch of Fruit, Herb, bam, bitches, fuck you, all. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Guys, you know me. Just kidding. Very melon. Very melon. I don't know.
Rose is being teased at school. She's far more important to me.
Let's see. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle, if you have a Vanguard with Witch in the name, look at top 3 from the top of the deck, search for a card, put it in the soul, rest in the drop zone. I don't know why they're doing this. None of the abilities, like, I guess it's to look for the witches that go into the soul, and then when they pop out, counterblast 1, return them to the deck. At the same time, they sort of got into the soul anyway. But I guess this is more efficient, and I don't know if I like the drop zone in non-Legion builds. Again, I'm a little bit confused as to their purpose, even though I know I described it. I don't know how useful they'll be compared to other things, but then again, witches didn't really have very much grade 1 stuff that wasn't like Shadow Paladins merged in there. So who knows? Regalia of Reflection, Mirror Angel, LB, Unlimiter. Good art, I like it.
It's a choking hazard. It's made of
Flying Lapwing, Genesis, it's a ghost. I don't know. Another one of those things that really work.
If you hold it up to the light, you can see Santa's penis.
Counterblast 1. When this is placed on rearguard circle, you may pay the cost if you do Soul Charge 3. If you have a Flying Lapwing and Soul Draw card sold. Counter Charge 1. Okay, maybe like if you played
She's still a baby?
Only for a few seconds.
this, put it in here. Counterblast Soul Stuff. Free draw. It's not bad. Free Soul Charge. Who knows? We'll figure it out. Witch of White Rabbit's Cardamom. Counterblast 1 was you put in the drop zone from the soul. If you have a Vanguard with Witch, you may pay the cost to review. Call this to rearguard and plus 2k. This will do work. You know, I suppose you could put it in directly with the other cards. I don't really know about this winning image. I'm gonna have to test it out myself, honestly. Sort of feeling it. Soul Blast 6. This unit gets plus 5k and a crit until end of turn. It does work. G-Break 1. You can only do it once.
Bonnie, prepare to cash
Counterblast 1, when the scene is placed on Vanguard Circle, you may pay the cost if you do. Soul Charge 3.
They're called derivatives, and you can't lose. Multiple buyers owe a balance of payments on their gift wrap, and so you buy
When the
shares
scene
of
is
pooled
placed
debt,
on Vanguard
generating
Circle.
long-term dividends with minimal risk.
That's
how I bought
Soul
my
Charge.
house.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Damn, she's good.
Vanguard Rearguard Circle, G-Break 1, I like it. Vanguard Rearguard Circle, I love it. All these Vanguard Rearguard Circles. Counterblast 1, when the scene is, it's a Vanguard, you pay the cost if you do. Soul Charge 3, and then if you have one of her in the soul, you may draw a card. Now this I actually like. I like it if there's things in the soul and then you can draw a card. I'm thinking about making a generic Genesis deck with the Myth cards, and I'm kind of disappointed they didn't have any more Myth cards here. But I think that...
Although there's a 3% chance she could end up in jail.
Let's see here.
You win.
Does work.
I
Does
like
work.
when that happens.
I think she's really good. I like her art. Just like Hebe.
Rose was going to be upset simply didn't win. I wasn't thrilled either.
Knight of Meditation, Mac Nessa.
Lovely dinner.
Counterblast, one of the scene is put in the drop zone from Rearguard Circle. In other words, if you kill it for something, which you will.
Well, thank you.
Choosing it's plus 5k to Vanguard. We'll see an attack hits a Vanguard, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. I kind of like the retiring thing that they got going on, that they're starting to sort of build up with Gallet and all that jazz. And maybe he can work with Gallet a bit better than, say, with Claret Sword. But pretty good stuff. Claret Sword's kind of perfect shielded when he uses ability anyway. Choose a card with Witch in the by the way, Shadow Paladins. Card name from your card to your hand, discard it. When it's used, placed on Rearguard Circle, if you have a Vanguard with Witch in the card name, number of your opponent's grade 0s or 2 or more, you may pay the cost if you do draw 2 cards. Not bad. You flip out a card, draw 2.
What? No. It's just, these solar ovens.
Pretty good.
These handouts. And as gifts, right? And if you want a gift to be appreciated, it should be presented as a gift.
That's interesting. Of course, coming from that
0,
mouth, everything's
more.
interesting.
Honestly, with Witch of Fianna, you replace 2 with it, and then you start playing this, you get a lot more. You kill a Witch of Fianna thing on the Vanguard Circle, you draw more. You know, it really does work a bit, a lot, I think. Knight of Sagacity, Gonvar, when another unit grade less in this place on Rearguard Circle, plus 3k until in a turn. He's less. There's been Revenger versions of him, and he's just as useless as they were. And Revengers did grade 0s a little better. These new Shadow Paladins do it with grade 1s.
That's right.
By the way, Grozny, grade 1s. Witch of Secret Books, Adra. During your turn, if you have a Vanguard with Witch in the card name, the number of your opponent's grade 0 rearguards 2 or more. In other words, after you do Fianna Legion.
Because I've been really itching.
Well, it should be side effect of mini
Let's see here.
It's crazy though, doesn't it?
Blah blah 2k and during your turn. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, unflip a damage, Soul Charge 1. Again, I don't know why the Shadow Paladin Witch is Soul Charge, but they seem to do that now, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because they can flip with Genesis. Let's see here. Knight of Brawn, Grozny. He's actually going in the Claret Sword deck if you have another unit grade less and placed on Rearguard Circle. In other words, a grade 1, which you will do.
Oh my god, what do we do? Just take
What?
Plus 3k until end of turn, so it's 12k. Let's say you do that Dark Crystal, Dark Pride Dragon combo. You put the Dark Pride or Dark Crystal Dragon down. It's a plus 3k, so it's a 10k booster. It's a 12k, 22k column. It's numbers.
Well, now we're
It's
even.
a lot of
And
numbers.
next time you dose me,
Funny
you
stuff.
better finish the job.
Really great. All those crit triggers, 27k. Oh.
Hi, Craig.
2 more clans. I can do it. I can do it. Come on. Let me hear your cheers. Okay. Well. Okay. Well, I'll just continue then. Screw you, guy in the back. I don't like you either.
So you're not next.
Black Handle Azrael. Handle Blast 1, put it into the drop zone. Top card of the deck into the damage zone. Face up. Choose a face up card. Put it in the hand.
Places.
It flips out and gives things power. It combos. It's a combo starter, basically. And a lot of combos can start. Fortunately, I can run her in a Celestial deck, and it's going to be hilarious. Though I think there's a Celestial version that does it slightly better. We'll see. We'll see. Dark Droid Retros. He actually is an argument for stands. Counterblast 1, put this unit at the top of the deck. Choose 2 cards from damage zone, put them at the top of the deck. Shuffle deck, in other words, triggers. For each card put in the damage zone, put the top card in the deck face up, draw a card. Yeah. Choose up to 2 cards from the damage zone. In other words, not face-up cards. You don't have to choose face-up cards, but you can put them in face-up. It's nice. It means you get more counterblasts. Inverse Celestial Asbeal. Yep, that's a crit trigger. Yep, damage zone. If you have a Vanguard with Celestial in the card name, this unit gets act damage zone. Put this face-up card on the top of your deck. Put this card face-up. Put this face-up card on the top of your deck. Shuffle deck. Reveal 3 from top of the deck. Choose a card not named Inverse Celestial Asbeal from among them. Put in the damage zone face-up and the rest into your drop zone. Yeah, there's a lot of things going to the drop zone nowadays, and I don't know. Is that like to accelerate Legion, sort of balance out Legion? I don't know. But point is that this is a way to return crits to the deck, which is actually something non-Legion Celestials need. Nurse of Danger Heart. That's a dumb name. I mean, I dig the Nurse of Danger bit, but couldn't it just be Nurse of Danger and not Heart? Because that girl doesn't look like she has a heart. She's shanking up that cloud with a needle. It's bad. Nurse of Sweetheart. Oh. Yes, healed up. Aww. Heal trigger. Good art. Fantastic art. Might replace the Celestial one with it, since the Celestials don't really use that many Celestial counterblasts. MRI Angel. Draw trigger. Yeah. He's got hearts on his shirt. I see. Nurse Cap Dalmatian. Aww. Counterblast 1, this unit boosts. There's actually a St. Bernard running around, but he's kind of useless. With this unit boosts, the boosted unit gets plus 1k for each face up on the drop zone until damage zone until end of battle. That's good. It's a 12k booster if you're playing your cards right, which I hope you will. Especially since, as I've demonstrated earlier, there's a lot of cards out there that flip everything face up so that, you know, abilities can be used. And so he becomes a 12k booster. Yeah, that's work. That's good work. Doctoroid Primus. Primus? Releasing sleep mode. Oh. When your other counterblast one of the other units placed on the rear guard from the damage zone, you may pay the cost. By the way, this is from the damage zone. If you do, put the top card of your deck into the damage zone face up, and if this card is face up, call it to R. There's some Celestials who do some similar stuff, and basically you can start off a chain of cards going into the damage zone, and then into the rear guard circle. Usually it's with another one, but if you can get one to start, the rest will start. That's how it works. It's pretty crazy. You just got to be careful. You might not have things you want from the deck into the damage zone. But then again, you have stuff that puts the damage zone back into the deck. So hey, just do it. You just see what it'll all work out for those who will it. Versus, I guess. I don't know. Confident Celestial Rumjaw. Yeah, Rumiel. I'm going to say it's Rumiel, because that makes more sense than Rumjaw. Unlimiter. AK Booster, Black Pain, Marut. Nurse of Broken Heart. When your card is put into your damage zone, choose one of your Vanguards, and that unit and this unit gets plus 2k until end of turn. Combine this up with Gabriel. You can give it plus 4k every time it does something. And it can really accelerate a lot, because if you have 2 out and then you do a Gabriel ability, flip something out, that's plus 4k to Gabriel, plus 2k here. So Gabriel can actually hit really high numbers. And, by the way, this is an auto, and it is not bound by turn. So actually, if you do Gabriel, you can get plus 4k to this, plus 4k to this, plus 4k to Gabriel, interestingly enough. Because Gabriel also gives it out to the rear guards. I completely forgot. And does a lot of work. So a lot of defense, even to your rear guards. Wow. Dreamlike Unicorn. Counterblast 1 when this unit is placed on rear guard circle, and may pay the cost. If you do, choose a face-up card from your damage zone and heal it. When this unit leaves the rear guard circle, look at the top 2 cards from the deck. Look at 2 cards from the top of the deck. There we go. Search for 1 card among them. Put them into your damage zone face-up. Rest of the bottom of the deck. It's a heal for a Counterblast 1. You might be like, but Ben, the thing will come back. But what if you're, say, playing Bermuda? Or you're playing something that doesn't kill your shit? And it has resist, by the way. That means that you can just put this behind the Vanguard circle, Counterblast 1, and heal. That's good. However, don't run too many of these. It can get bad, especially since you take a damage. Which means it can kill you if they find some way to kill it. Yeah, Mobile Ward Healing Palace. Vanguard Rearguard Circle. Counterblast 1 when this unit attack hits a Vanguard. You may pay the cost if you do. Look at the top 3 cards in the deck. Search for a card among them. Put them into your damage zone face up. Put the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. Yeah, bottom of the deck in any order. Choose a face up card. Call it a Rearguard Circle. Yeah, that's pretty good. It can lead to multiple attacks. But honestly, I think some other things might be a bit better for Gabriel. However, this thing is certainly something I will be considering for the deck. This unit's just pretty good. I like it. Rearguard support is always great. It's a pity it's a G-break. One last thing. Come on, Ben. You can do it. You can do it. So basically, because I had time on my hands, I built my Mega Colony decks, which I will talk about after the tournament. Scissor Fingers. Dreamer. Crit Trigger. Buster and Mantis. Cocoon, best art. Excuse me. Okay. I'll just talk about these when they come up. So let's start out with our new starter, Young Executive Crime Bug. I kind of wish they had another one, but I don't know what it would do. He actually has a really funny lore. He shows up and he's kind of like this dorky kid who follows around the main villains and, sort of screws with the, the people running around. Not the people running around, what am I thinking? Screws with the, dimensional police and whatnot who are running around trying to solve the crimes that he's committing. And he's like, I'm just a kid, don't punish me. Okay, kid, I'll do better next time. Oh, wow, we really helped somebody. And then he kicks him in the nuts. That's what I understand his backstory is. Good job, guy. You're really lowering the ball for everyone, especially Mega Colony. Now, the triggers, literally every trigger in this set is useful. Machining Firefly, Counterblast 1, it's unit placed on Rearguard Circle. If you have a Vanguard with machining in the card name, pay the cost if you do. Choose one of your other Rearguards, stand it, and then choose an opponent's Rearguard, and you can't stand next turn. So basically, you can play it, Counterblast 1, stand something, stun something that you stand something that was, like, say, brought out last turn by Machining Scorpion Mark II. Stand it, return it into the soul, and then something else doesn't stand. Wow, look at that guy. He's MVP. However, and then you can bring him out later again, when you do the Scorpion thing again. Machining Scarab. You know how many times I've been screwed over by the fact that I have not had a Machining Counterblast because of a draw? This guy solves it. However, they still don't have perfect shields that are machining. That makes me sad. Cocoon Healer is best girl and best art. It's a heal. Hebe is a bit better because she's not a criminal. But, she's a close second. Crit Trigger. Bad drip. Like bad trip. I bet, he's tripping balls. I don't know. Tripping balls? Yeah. Earth Dreamer, one of the best stands in the game because it works so well with the decks. Put this unit in the top of your deck at the beginning of the opponent's rise phase. If you have the number of Rearguards that's tapped as 3 or more, you may pay the cost if you shuffle your deck, draw 2 cards. At the beginning of your opponent's ride phase, excuse me. So let's say you have 3 of these, and you used Sweet Cocktail and Darkface to stun 3 units. They can't replace them by that time. So all of a sudden, let's say you have 3 of these, you can draw 6 cards by returning these to the deck. Wow! But don't do that. You'll run out of deck. It's good. It's run. You run a 4 of in every G-Break deck, and even in some of the machining decks, you need a little draw, but don't want to run draw triggers. Which I might do. Scissor Fingers. Scissor Fingers. Give him the scissors. Edward Scissor Fingers. And it's like some sort of thing that, they're dancing and whatnot. It's all kind of angsty because it's Johnny Depp, and then all of a sudden he starts eating her face because he's a giant fucking insect. This unit boosts if all your opponent's Vanguards and Rearguards are tapped, which, by the way, happen when you break ride, you run Paraspear, or you do a whole bunch of other things. This you need a boost against plus 2k. And there's the 12k attacker, Buster Mantis, who does that, and then together they make a 21k column. Other Rearguards, we have Machining Slater. When he boosts a Machining, you can, and if all the other guys are tapped, you can basically get a 2 soul charge. He's not very useful. I wish he was more useful. This is an AK booster. I don't like this guy. His art is stupid. Yes, those are those who bear the name T. It's just a dragonfly. Phantom Black was cooler. He was. Machining Yellow Jacket. A lot of people thought this was a Stride for a while. Turns out it's an Unlimiter. Then we have a slightly useless card, but still useful, I guess. Abyss Diver. Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. When this unit is placed on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle for any reason, pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rearguards, tap it, and until end of turn, the opponent cannot intercept with it and cannot stand next turn. He does work. However, there are certain things out there right now that I'm going for that he does not do as well, and plus is the fact he's an AK and I want numbers. Then we have Longhorn Hunter. Counterblast 1 when this unit is placed on Vanguard Rearguard Circle. Pay the cost if you do. Choose a rearguard, tap it until end of turn and cannot intercept. And cannot send during your opponent's next sand phase. Wow. He's good. If you're just running Dark Face and you don't want to run the Break Ride like I'm doing, he'll do work for you. In a good way. In a good way. He's a really good card for a support unit. However, I would prefer if he was on hit. Because then that would be pressure. And again, pressure wins games, not like fancy smancy abilities. Why does PBA win? Pressure. Pressure! And I think this really includes our pressure on control, as well as preventing the opponent from doing things we don't want him to do, like winning. Hashtag. But at the same time, there's things lacking. Honestly, they don't have as many fancy stuff and fancy generic stuff as other things do, but maybe that's for the best. Force me and others by proxy to be creative. This is a deck that this is the set, the ultimate set, that you can get super creative in, and it won't mount, and you can be given stuff, rewarded for it, rather than just punished for it. This deck is full of the dreams of card fighters, and probably is the best G set that's come out so far. Not just because it has machining, but simply because it has so many options for so many different decks that really improve it, and especially things like Gear Chronicle, where they have finally some non-G support. Have a nice evening.